Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Curtis Motorcycles channel, creating future-proof motorcycles that are best and the finest in the world. Joining us, Matt, the Chief Executive Officer, who's going to be breaking down kind of the business for us for any of those motorcycle lovers and investors that are kind of intrigued by the space. So first and foremost, welcome, sir.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Pleasure to get you on, Matt. So diving right down into this, kind of give us an introduction as the Chief Executive Officer to the company. How would you kind of give us an elevator pitch toward Curtis Motorcycles?
Well, we spent 25 years making luxury motorcycles, and we invented the category. And then we realized we had this epiphany that ICE just wasn't the way to go, and that the best motorcycle in the world would be an electric motorcycle. So we've spent the last 6 years focused on the one by Curtis. And what we've managed to do is make the sexiest motorcycle ever, and it happens to be clean, and it's so much fun to ride, and anybody can ride it, and it's accessible. It just has everything that our customer told us they wanted. We've been able to imbue into this first edition of Curtis, which is a restoration project of the greatest American legacy motorcycle brand ever.
Now, I might just extend the question here a little bit out of my own curiosity. How do you find just the torque, the speed, the control of an electric motorcycle when you see kind of the powerhouse that it drives into basic vehicles as it is today?
It serves you. Problem with the motorcycle, the problem with the ICE motorcycle is they're hot and they shake and they do all kinds of things that we've been acclimated to believe are cool. And in a way, it is kind of cool in the sense that sometimes things that are a little bit problematic, you just deal with and say, "Oh, that was interesting that it was that way." But with the one by Curtis, the motorcycle serves all of your highest level interests. So you don't, the power is immediate, it's always there. And all you have to do is just enjoy the ride. And the fact that there isn't any auxiliary noise coming off the motorcycle actually makes it more sublime.
So I gotta ask you real quick, just kind of rolling back a little bit, kind of what led up to that aha moment for you? What kind of history led you down the path to getting involved with Curtis?
Well, for me, it begins in 1958. I discovered this book at the library next to my grandmother's house about brand and insignia and design and the contextualization of these matters relative to motorcycles and cars. And it just sent me off on this journey of really it's just something that I can't stop thinking about, which is my love of cars and motorcycles and the way from the OEM perspective, because we're a tiny little company and we're projecting huge growth coming into this tiny little market. But the big thing with Curtis and our prior work in ICE is that as an OEM, you have all of these same elements that a bigger company like General Motors or Volkswagen Group or Toyota, Tesla would have. You still have to make the honest machine. It's not enough to have a better machine, but it has like a Kia. If Kia had bought Saab, which is what I would wish they would have done, then they would have Saab as a brand, and the new Kia they have that's kind of the Porsche-like Kia as a Saab, I think would be a much more desirable vehicle than the Kia version of it or the Hyundai version because of what the brand, how the brand resonates today. So it's not enough that the Curtis is the best motorcycle, but it's the Curtis of motorcycles. It has this legacy tied back to the founding of the American V twin, and now the reinvention of the motorcycle as the ultimate LEV. These things really matter. So it all goes back to that, and then I practiced law, did that for 13 years, and then in 1991 I got into the V twin business to fix it as a fixer.
Yeah.
And we did a good job on that. And the idea was to make these badass V twin motorcycles, which we did. It was a lot of fun. We made about 1,300 of them. We sold them to one of my customers was the world's richest man. He's no longer with us, but to the top clients in the world. But what the aha moment was when I realized that there was nowhere else to go with ICE. The bikes keep getting hotter and bigger and more problematic with regulation. In some level, they were actually getting less fun. And so I, with the help of a couple of co-founders, made the move to Curtis and Battery Electric.
Very
And
intriguing.
yeah, it's been. I gotta say, and we didn't make the move because we're, look, I love organic first principle thinking, but the move wasn't to clean the planet up or anything like that. Really, we were motorcycle people, but the move was to make the greatest motorcycle ever. That was the most, and it happens to be clean, modern, and cool, and all that stuff. And don't underestimate the cool part, because these 180, 190 horsepower ICE air-cooled V twins we were making, they are mightily hot.
Yeah.
And all the big Ducatis and Harleys and all that stuff now, they run real. I know that the customers that have those bikes know and the one is, it's the first immersion cool bike, so it's completely cool. So you can touch it. It never, and it's capable of 217 horsepower, so it's quite a bit more powerful. So we talk about sublime, smooth, easy, accessible. Yeah. And it's more powerful.
I appreciate those insights. Kind of just going back to the co-founder side of it, do you want to just touch on kind of who's helping you captain this ship, the team, who's kind of helping you push this kind of niche focused business forward?
It's the team of the American Road Bike Specialists. I mean, it is literally the dream team. I mean, we would be special ops. I mean, we would be the guys that were sent in to get bin Laden. I mean, if you wanted to make the greatest American road bike ever, you would have the team that I've got. And JT Nesbitt came back. I worked with him for in the first project for a long time. I was fortunate to get him back. I was really lucky, and we're doing great. I mean, it's been fantastic. And Jordan Cornell, co-founder, young designer, very talented. Couldn't do anything without Jordan. Vinay Valaru, engineer. Pam's been with me for 32 years as administrative. And Gareth Roberts, he's managing all of our content assets and working on narrative. So I mean, and we have a relatively new CFO, Andy, brilliant, and just doing a great job. So it's a relatively small team. Jim Hoy, been with us forever, board member. And then we have one very special member of the team who is a backer. He's been our biggest backer. And he really was the one that nudged me just a little bit. Yeah, do it. If it weren't for him, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't have had the courage.
Well, on that note, I definitely appreciate these insights, and I'll pass the question off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you guys think about all of this in that comment section below, and consider subscribing, because we're going to be breaking down the products. We're going to be diving down into the financials and so much more, but stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.